All right. It's Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for another episode of Edible RX. And the topic of today's podcast is, can food fight inflammation? If so, which ones? But quickly, before we get into the episode, if you're new here, hi everybody. I'm Laura Rodriguez, holistic chef, autoimmune warrior, and creator of the Flair Free Academy. In 2015, I started using anti-inflammatory food as medicine to manage the symptoms of my rheumatoid arthritis, and I saw great success. But my healing journey was a linear one. It had many twists and turns along the way, and throughout all of it, I learned that in order for me to stay well, I have to stay consistent. That's why I created the Flair Free Academy, an online community of autoimmune warriors and foodies working hard to heal from within. Because I believe there's power in hearing other people's stories, and helping you on your journey helps me stay on mine. Healing is possible. You just have to have the right tools, guidance, support, and resources to make it happen. And that's what this podcast is all about. Now, quick disclaimer, guys, I'm not a doctor, a nurse, a dietitian, or a nutritionist. So, mentioned in this podcast is meant to be a replacement for proper professional medical advice. The thoughts and feelings expressed in this podcast today are purely my own. This podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition. Please consult your physician for personalized medical advice. All right, now let's dive in. So, while there's no research to suggest that there's one specific diet that you can embrace to fight inflammation, a lot of research does point to adopting something similar to the Mediterranean diet as being beneficial. So, if you're looking to fight inflammation, it's best to avoid the following foods. And by the way, guys, I will be sharing the resources for everything that I'm talking about today because this is not my own opinion. This is, based off of the medical research that I found online from reputable resources. And I will be sharing that in the show notes for you. So, if you want to fight inflammation, try starting by avoiding the following foods: highly processed and packaged foods, processed red meat, refined nut and seed oils like vegetable oil, cottonseed oil, canola oil, etc. Margarine. This includes even those plant based vegan butter alternatives like Earth Balance. Because if you flip it over and read the back of the package, guys, the main ingredient is going to be something like canola oil or vegetable oil. So that's technically margarine. Okay, fast food, fried foods, soda and sugary drinks, refined carbohydrates like white flour, white bread, flour tortillas, white rice, pasta, pastries, etc. Gluten from wheat based products like pasta, bread, pastries, grains like farro, couscous, barley, and rye. All of those are all gluten filled grains. They just have a different name, which comes from dairy, sugar, and alcohol. I know that's a long list of some of our favorite foods, right? So I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, what in the world can I eat then? I know. But eating anti inflammatory isn't just about what you can't eat. In fact, I'd say it's more important to focus on what to add into your diet than what to take out. Because the truth of the matter is that standard American diet is devoid of nutrients. And most of us who are suffering from autoimmunity and other inflammation related conditions desperately need to increase our intake of nutrient dense foods. So here's a nutrient dense foods that you can eat to beat inflammation recommended by the Mediterranean diet. A wide variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Extra virgin olive oil. Nuts and seeds. Beans and legumes. Gluten-free whole grains like quinoa, millet, amaranth, rice, etc. Herbs and spices. Okay. Now, these ingredients are all naturally full of powerful vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, polyphenols, omega, fiber, prebiotics, and probiotics. All of the things that we need to fight inflammation, build a healthy gut microbiome, fight free radicals, and build healthy cells, right? And all of these things we need to keep our inflammation low and our immune system strong. So here's a quick list of 10 of the top anti inflammatory foods, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about here: tomatoes, broccoli, green leafy vegetables, blueberries, salmon and other fatty fishes, extra virgin olive oil, turmeric, green tea, walnuts, and gluten free grains. So, not so bad, right? We're familiar with a lot of those things, and we probably eat a lot of those things already. So, how does flare free differ from the Mediterranean diet? So, flare free goes slightly above and beyond what the Mediterranean diet suggests by incorporating some of the ingredients that are most recommended by the top functional medical professionals around the globe whose job it is to prescribe food as medicine. So, it can get pretty nuanced here, and I don't want to overwhelm you or confuse you, but I'll just say this. Flare free means gluten, dairy, sugar, corn, soy, peanut free, and anti inflammatory comfort food. The premise of flare free is not to make you learn to love anti inflammatory food, but really to learn to make the foods that you love anti inflammatory. Because autoimmunity is a lifelong condition, and even if you were to reverse your condition through diet and lifestyle, you can't go back to eating the standard American diet because you're just going to relapse. So make the foods you love in a way that loves you back so that you're excited about eating this way forever and it doesn't feel like a chore or a punishment so that you can stay well forever. The absolute easiest and best way to eat flare free is to simply follow my recipes. I have free ones on my blog and under free resources on my website, cheflaurarodriguez.com. But if you're a seasoned cook and you're looking to experiment with some of the best tasting ingredients on the market, you can also just make your favorite recipes flare free by swapping out what you would normally use for their flare free counterparts. So, just to break it down for you, here's a list of ingredients that I use inside the Flare Free Academy: colorful in season produce, organic if it's on the dirty dozen list, organic pastured lean meat and eggs, so grass fed beef, grass fed lamb, pasture turkey, pasture chicken, food, organic gluten free grains, organic beans and legumes, raw nuts and seeds. Because a lot of those roasted and salted nuts and seeds you can find in the store, if you flip around the back of the package and read it, you'll probably find it's coated in an inflammatory oil, right? Those cottonseed, those canola, those vegetable oils. Soy free vegan dairy. Also, want to turn it around and read the back of the package and make sure that it contains no inflammatory oils. So, next, I wanted to share with you how Flare Free has helped me and how it's helped my students. When I first started eating Flare Free in 2015, I couldn't lift the containers of food off of the counter at work high enough to put them into their cooler bags without horrible pain in my elbows and wrists. So, just after 3 months of eating flare free, not only did that horrible joint pain go away, but so did my chronic migraines and my eczema. Now, my healing journey wasn't a linear one. I went on to develop several different conditions throughout the years, like adrenal fatigue and insulin resistance, gut dysbiosis, and toxic mold syndrome. But the thing that helped me get through all of these things the most, despite having obviously very different healing protocols for each of those conditions, was eating flare free. You see, I would have periods of time where I would cook and eat whatever I needed to cook and eat for work. Some of the food projects I worked on over the years were like the furthest thing from flare free, and I would flare up horribly. So that's why a few years ago I decided to go all in on myself and to build my business around what I need to eat to stay well versus just cooking whatever my clients want. So, not only has it helped me physically with my health, it's also helped me with my business and with my emotional well-being, right? So, I'm much more in alignment now with my work and I get so much joy and gra- and I get so much joy from helping people use food as medicine that in turn helps to keep my inflammation low, right? Stress can cause inflammation and the opposite can help bring it down. And so my life work balance is so much better than it used to be. And not only am I literally eating flare free all the time, unless I so choose to go out and eat something that's not, I'm not having to eat flare free at work just because it's at work and being in a state of chronic inflammation, right? So those are just a few ways that flare-free has helped me. It's also helped my family and so many, like Gemma, who was skeptical of the benefits of eating flare-free at first, but she gave it a try anyway, and within a few months she said, "Eating flare-free has helped me more than the infusions I have to get for Crohn's. Less digestive issues and no more bloating. No more pain from eating is the best." And Catherine, who said, "My CRP number, that's an inflammation marker, dropped a ton only after 9 weeks of eating flare free. I've learned a lot and I'm finding the value both externally and internally in eating this way." And Sandy, who said, "I went to a new doctor and when she did my blood work, she came in and said, 'You're like the healthiest person ever. Tell me your secrets.' And I told her, 'Your recipes.' She kept stressing the inflammation markers being excellent, and seriously, I credit a lot of that with making huge strides in the last year in the way that I eat thanks to you." So, as you can see, eating flare free can help you fight inflammation in a big, big way. And these are just a few examples of the many autoimmune warriors who have put in the hard work to change their diet and heal from within and have seen results inside the Flare Free Academy. And there are many, many more. If you'd like to hear more, you can follow Instagram at Chef Laura Rodriguez. I share new feedback all the time as it comes in, and I have a highlight on my profile that's dedicated to past testimonials. So, if you've been on the fence about changing your diet because you're not sure it'll work, stay tuned for a fun live workshop I'll be hosting at the end of the month that will teach you everything you need to know to get started using flare free food consistently with ease, long enough to lessen the symptoms of your condition so you can try it for yourself. And who knows, you may even be my next success story. Well, I hope you found this podcast episode helpful and inspirational. If you did, consider leaving a rating or a review wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. It would really, truly mean a lot to me. If you're a visual learner and you'd like to see a full transcript of today's podcast with clickable links and resources for everything that I've shared with you today, head to my blog at cheflaurarodriguez.com/blog. That's it for today, guys. Stay tuned until next week's episode. Until then, eat your damn vegetables. Bye!